And we should have jumped down to Alpha, but we'll wait, and we'll do that once we separate into individual flights. Alright, looks like waiting on Striker and Kimmy to get in.
Nice email address, Hiccup.
Well, thanks, but keep it within the group here. I don't want that getting out.
Who's Rumpelstiltskin?
Oh, that's me.
Copy. Alright, Kimmy, just waiting on you.
I was just thinking, I don't think I've ever been spammed by this service, even though using a real email.
No, me neither.
I signed up for the actual service. That's why I use my real email now. But I never have any issues. So, because if you're gonna present, you have to have your own account. At least that's what I found.
Yeah.
Kimmy said he's reconnecting to his phone.
Yeah, copy.
He said he can listen though, right now.
Alright, so we'll just start off then. Everyone should see my Chrome with Cylon 1, yellow flag, task 7 at the top.
Yep.
Alright, so Cylon 1 is myself and Reb. We're tasked with task number 7, which is armed recon at 7430. So I'll go into what we're going to do more as a flight rep when we do our flight brief, but in a nutshell for everyone, we'll take some pictures with our TGPs, since part of this is to ID at least 6 vehicles, and then we'll roll in Mavericks, 2 each Mavericks for each of us, and try and take out at least 4 vehicles so we can get the successful criteria. Borg 1, Hiccup, and Striker. It's task 9, and that's destroy Scuds and 4 other vehicles. So I did get clarification earlier that gun runs only on Scuds, weapons free on any of the other vehicles at 7406. Borg 2, which is Kimmy and Emmy. Emmy, sorry, I misspelled your name there. You guys will orbit, and we'll go over the orbit here in a second. And depending on how many vehicles are left at task 7 or task 9, basically whoever gets done and off first is who will clear you in to come follow and do some cleanup. And then Venom 1 is Panther and Baxter, and you guys will be providing cap for us. Any questions on the general overview? Any questions on the yellow flag ROEs? Hiccup, I got your PM. Yeah, good to go. Some of the ROEs are kind of, I don't want to say unorganized, but the way I read through them, I probably missed some stuff. So you're good to good updating like you said you were going to.
I can copy.
Hey, Snoopy.
Yep.
Saw a reference in all of this somewhere. It said, do not go west of the target. Does that mean west of the range or west of the actual vehicles?
So that is only for task 7. So
Okay.
to start off, it's only Reb and I. And then if Emmy, if you and Kimmy come into task 7, then you won't go west of it.
Copy.
All right. Can you see? Should be Google Earth now.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So pretty self-explanatory. We'll do take out, head up, do the dream, up to Mint, blah blah blah. At Riley, that's where the Hornets will break off and take gas at Amico. A10s will continue on to Exxon. We'll take gas up there. The blue line here, Coyote Peak and Mount Irish is where Borg 2 will orbit. Everyone, obviously, do not go into the container. We're relatively close. Borg 1, it'll just be, there's not actually a waypoint right here. It's just pay attention to your TAD to stay out of the container.
Yep, copy.
Plan for Cylon 1 is we'll be orbiting at Green Delta to the north, kind of in that kind of racetrack pattern to the north, to the east, back south, and to the west. That way we will stay deconflict from Borg when you come down here. Target areas are relatively close, so my guess is Borg 1 will be on the 7406 before Reb and IR, just because we're going to be doing the armed recon piece. But before we tip in for our Maverick attack, I will contact you, Hiccup, find out where you guys are to deconflict, because we're going to be running in from kind of the northeast. We don't want to be firing Mavericks if you guys are over here dropping munitions on 7406. So I'll make sure we deconflict. Same thing if for some reason Borg 2 is cleared into 7406 before Cylon 1 goes in on 7403, we'll deconflict. So just make sure you're keeping everyone up to date on go ahead and do it on the AWACS channel, since we'll all be observing that, including the 5/10 folks. And then from there we'll do the Jason recovery to strike, and then strike back in. Everyone plan on 2-1 left for landing. We'll be departing 3 left since we have live munitions. Diverts when we're up here on the range, pretty much from when we get to Riley. Well, we'll say for the A10s, Exxon. For the 5/10, once you get over the cap area, divert will be Tonopah. On the way back down, divert will be Creech, and pretty much anywhere from Riley south on the outbound leg, if something happens, divert will be back to Nellis. Any questions on the Google Earth? Alright, so next thing I want to do that I've said I wanted to do, and I always forget, so kind of emergency procedure of the day. So I'm going to ask Strike, since he was one of our newer pilots, and if you need to grab the manual, that's fine, but what is the emergency procedure if you get an engine fire in the air?
Engine fire. Lower the throttle on the engine, and I guess if the flame doesn't go out, then deploy the what's that called? The fire extinguisher thing. Pull the handle on the engine that's on fire, and then deploy the fire extinguisher.
All right, so when you do the extinguisher knob, what happens if you go both ways and then get a fire on the second engine? Okay, to help you out, you're screwed.
Yeah.
All right, so basically,
then you eject, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. All right, so per the checklist, throttle to off, pull the fire handle, discharge the agent, so one way. If it's still burning, then you would go to the other way, but you really don't want to do that unless it's an absolute last resort. In the sim, I don't think I've ever seen it take more than one discharge to put out an engine fire. And then, if you get it out, follow that. Retract flaps, jettison stores, fuel flow to override, SAS switches off, disengage yaw SAS, and head back and land as soon as you can. All right, so let's see. All right, like I said, departure via 3 left, flex turnout to Dream 4, recover will be Jason to strike, and we'll all come back 2-1 left, straight in. Are there any questions on the package as a whole? We will try and take off Cylon 1, Borg 1, Borg 2, and Venom. You guys can sneak it out whenever you can, since you guys will be way faster than us.
Hey, Snoopy, I have a couple questions. I'm sorry if I missed it in the brief. I was writing a couple things down, but I wasn't sure. First of all, the A10s, we are not doing any refueling, right? We're just going directly in from the Exxon 1 in our case, right?
It's up to you. Cylon 1's going to top off since we're going to be orbiting some. If
Yep.
if Borg and Borg 1 and 2 don't want to hit the tanker, then you don't need to. It's up to you.
And we can push without, there's no control about pushing. We just go in autonomously. Each group goes in pretty much as they're ready.
Yeah, just make sure you are on the AWACS frequency on mid before you cross into 4807.
Okay, and when do we push 2.9 or 1.9? Just 20 miles from the range. That's when we're gonna. That's kind of tactical during the attack.
Hold on a sec.
No, that's the tanker frequency.
Yeah, that's tanker.
Oh, it is. Okay, sorry. So we're gonna stay on blackjack or
Nope,
12.
nope. Hold on.
12.
12. So if you don't go to the
Okay.
tanker, ignore 291.9.
Okay.
So on mid, start off on for the A10s, 76 channel, push to Nella's tower, control, then blackjack, tanker on 291.9. If you go to the tanker, if you're not going to go to the tanker just before you cross into 4807, that's when you will switch to 12, and then you will switch back to blackjack when you're down here about to come out of 4807 again, and then you'll switch back to blackjack and then
Copy.
follow like normal procedures.
Okay, so preset 12 will kind of be the tactical while we're in the area, and we will definitely, at least, if nothing else, check out on 12 when we're done if we don't get any other radio call before then.
Yeah, check out on 12. At 12 is where I'll contact you if you're still on the range when we're about ready, or I'll contact you anyways just to see where you're at when Cylon is ready. If for some reason anyone loses mid-radio, for A10s anyways, everyone should be on front 10 for blackjack. So if you lose mid-radio, just broadcast any kind of package comms or your blackjack calls on front radio.
Okay, and the last thing for Borg 1 flight is, it's kind of congested potentially, but I don't feel comfortable egressing anywhere except to the east after the attack run. So we're just going to make a right-hand pattern east off of our target, back down to our IP, then back to clockwise. So we'll try to be careful not to conflict with anybody on the egress as we go back to the IP. If that's okay with everybody.
Yeah, you should be good because Borg 2 is going to stay over here in orbit until they're either cleared by me or you to come in on our respective targets. And Reb and I will be orbiting from Green Delta to the north, to the east, south, to the west. We're going to be orbiting kind of like that. So if you come off to the east, there'll be no conflict.
Okay, copy. That's all I had. Thank you, sir.
All right, there are mobile SAM threats. I don't know if there's any in this area, so we'll all find that out together. Any other package as a whole questions? All right, if not, so we'll do 15 minutes for the flight briefs. So everyone back up in, we'll just say 8:40. Meet back in Alpha, and that's where Rev and I will go now. All right, you still you didn't leave the team viewer, did you?
No, sir, I did not.
All right, so Cylon 1, group ID 80, own ID 12 for you. Once we're done with Dream 4, and then head to the tanker. When we're leaving the tanker, we'll dial up Yardstick, so you'll be 17 Yankee. Don't worry about the laser codes, because we won't have any laser guided munitions. We'll be departing, like I said, 3 left. Arriving back 2-1 left, and for the most part, while we're north, like I said, divert will be Tonopah. Flight plan as fragged, no problem there. Loadout will take 2 AIM-9s, 2 AGM-65 hotels, M156. I didn't see any restrictions on rockets, they're just smoke rockets anyways. We'll take those. I don't think we'll be tagging anything, but if we have to, make sure it's HEI and not training or combat mix. 240 chaff, 240 flare, TGP, and ECM pod. Rotation is 130 knots, refusal 120 knots. Our Joker will be 2,500 pounds, bingo 2,000. Rejoin, obviously we're flying instrument of departure, but there's no weather, so you are clear to rejoin after we are on our way to Mint. So once we're on the heading Dream 4 from Mint, you're clear to rejoin per contract. Radios, well actually before, we will go to the tanker, so Exxon IP we will top off. We'll see how much gas we have when we get there, and I'll decide how much we'll refuel to at that point. We've got Focus as the AWACS, which we will be on after we tank, which is preset 12. Radios start off 118.5. Mid 356.8 and aft 51.0. When we go secure, will be key 2. So keep that in mind. Once we're done with radio checks, we'll push front 4 mid 3. Any questions on first half of the MDC?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, just to re-attack what we're tasking is, we're tasking 7, which is armed recon at 7430. We will not overfly the target, and we will not fly west of the target. And basically, we'll alternate when we're in orbit at Green Delta on who's head down, looking at the TGP, and who's heads on a swivel for mutual support, and get as many pictures as we can so we can ID the 6 vehicles. And then once we have good pictures, we'll go in Mavericks. Plan will be shooter line off to the north, sort east, and then we'll reestablish back south. There is a hard ceiling of 10,000 feet. I forgot to mention that to everyone, so I need to try and remember that when we're all back together in Alpha. But go ahead and set your altitude alert to 9,500. Well, yeah, you can set it to 9,500. The ceiling only applies when we get into 4807, so obviously flying Dream 4 as charted, getting to altitude for the tanker. But once we're inbound, we'll be descending below the 10,000. And again, target area divert is Tonopah. On the way back is Creech, and anything en route up to when we get to the tanker will be Nellis. Any questions on the MDC?
No, sir.
Alrighty, well then we can just hang out and wait and see if everyone meets the time hack for the flight.
Snoopy, when we go in, shooter in line, you want me to be on your left since we're breaking back to the north?
Figure that out once we do the actual fighter. That's just kind of This is what I'm thinking now, but it could change depending on what we have there. If there's any AAA, SAMs, or air threats, although we don't have any aggressors that fly U.S. time zone, so we shouldn't have to worry about that.
Roger that.